This video will be monetized, but all proceeds will go to White Ribbon. This is an organization dedicated to ending, domestic violence and abuse. So I hope you guys can understand why you will see ads on this video. If you are watching this video, it means that Slazo has not, explained his side of the story adequately in the time I designated for that to happen. I feel like I am probably the first person in the Reddit community to talk about this publicly on their YouTube channel. And I would like to state that that is not because we are siding with Slazo. I do have DMs here to prove, literally like everyone in the Discord server that we're in, like the YouTuber Discord server, we all are against the actions of Slazo. Basically everyone in the Reddit community is not siding with him, and we will never side with him. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically on the 10th of June, Fizzy Pop or Shay came out and said basically that Slazo or Michael had been verbally and sexually abusing her for years. She provides evidence to build a case and also a tweet longer to build a case, which we will be delving into. I feel like it's important for me to say straight up, I do have a little bit of a personal bias towards Slazo. That is because we did a charity event and he said he would attend, but he never showed up. You know, he was too good for it or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way with him. But yeah, I'm going to try and be as fair as I can in this and present both sides as well as I can, considering he hasn't responded yet. So to start this off, we are going to be reading the tweet longer. So Shay put out this tweet longer. Basically, I think she captioned it on Twitter like, if you're wondering where I've been. So yeah, let's just dive into this. Hello, this is Fizzy Pop, or as some of you know me as, Shay. I need to talk about some serious topics today, and I ask you read the entire thing. I'd recently been hearing some comments from mutual friends that Slazo had been acting strange and had made some people uncomfortable. And I need to speak out. I've been silent about this for almost 3 years now. After a lot of consideration and talking to my closest friends, along with considering police involvement, I've decided to come out. Slazo, who I'll be referring to as Michael, and I were in a relationship from 2016 to 2017, but had continued to talk into 2018 in a proactive way. Michael during our relationship was abusive both verbally and sexually. During our time together, Michael was incredibly demanding of sexual favours, and would often guilt or force me into situations to which I was not comfortable. If I was to try and deny or argue against him, he would become aggressive. Michael would often yell or become upset when I refused or said I wasn't in the mood. To this, the only way to calm him was for me to send him images or undress on camera. We lived 3 hours away from each other by train, so most of the time, it was our only contact. However, Michael and I had met multiple times. Mike is 2 years my senior, and at that time I was 14 to 15, while he was 16 to 17. I had expressed to Michael that I would rather wait until I was 16 to have sex, which in the end never happened. Michael, on our first date, touched me in the cinema, despite never kissing someone before. I assumed this was normal, although I was uncomfortable by it, and let it happen. Our second date was much the same. Him asking me for a blowjob and trying to undo my bra in a public park. Again, I was uncomfortable. There were many times that I would say no, or even cry, and I was never taken seriously. And he would move my hands to touch himself while I cried, or touch me. He would also never visit if I was on my period. Even so, every time that something bad would happen, and I would cry or say that I wanted to break up, he begged me to stay, that he would do better, and that he loved me. And I believed him. His behaviour afterwards continuously got worse though. He denied me access to friends, getting mad if I talked and wanted to go out with them, and also controlled my art, and if I drew something he did not like, he would get mad and I would take it down, not wanting to deal with an outburst. Michael controlled almost every aspect of my life, and I was reduced to thinking I was nothing more than a sex object. I, at that stage, attempted to take my own life during that relationship. I'm on antidepressant medication, and have been for almost 4 years. The amount of stress built up, and I ended up in the hospital. I was sent home soon after, lying to the doctors and family that I had woken up in the middle of the night after a panic attack and taken too many by accident. Michael, though, after all of this was said and done, after I was out of the hospital and back in therapy, asked if I really needed the medication because it lowered my sex drive. Now thinking back on it, I felt stupid for being so forgiving and naive and not telling anyone. But I was scared that if I told anyone, I would ruin Michael's life. This was my first relationship, and my first example of what I was to believe a relationship to be. I lost a lot of friends, opportunities, and time because of what happened. And I don't want this to happen to someone else. I believe people can change, and heavily tried to believe and have the benefit of the doubt for a long time regarding him and his actions, but The recent actions and informations I had heard about, I can no longer overlook. So that is easily the hardest thing I've ever had to record. Yeah, that's not nice to read about. So moving on to the screenshots, I won't be reading out all of these because, well, just looking at them, there is a lot here. There is absolutely a lot here to read. But some people have speculated that these may be fake. Well, Shay actually did post a video where she scrolled through Discord to show that, well, she did really have these DMs. But I feel like it is obviously fair for me to say this can be faked still. If it is faked, she did a pretty good job. I don't think it is faked, but yeah, we're waiting for a Slazo response as a community. We've waited this long. We're gonna wait until it's been 10 days, and that's when I'm gonna respond with this video. Yeah, it's really just not a nice situation. It reflects badly on us as a community. And yeah, I really didn't want to talk about this, but I feel like it's only fair for me to talk about this and discuss what's happening, because although it has been talked about by some people, it's not been talked about by our community at all, and it makes us kind of look bad. But I do assure you guys that we wanted to talk about this. We wanted to talk about this. Some of us just didn't because it doesn't suit our channels, but the majority of us are just waiting for a fucking response. It's been too long, Slazo. It doesn't take this long. It really doesn't. Respond. Come on, it doesn't take this long to write a response. Especially if some of it's fake. Or, yeah, whatever. If it is true, then fucking go with it, dude. Just say what happened and apologize. That's all you've got to do. It won't all go away, but it'll be a lot better than what's happening now. So a lot of the YouTubers who I don't think will be making videos on this, some of them might, I'm not exactly sure. But I've been talking to them in the YouTuber Discord server about making this video, and they've said that they want to be mentioned as people that do not support Slazo. We know that a lot of viewers and stuff think that we are supporting Slazo by being silent, but that's simply not the case. Geofilms, Dark Dom, Q-Star, Mr. Green Text, Illuminati, Koali the Bear, Thedadim, and Fresh. Those are the names I have here, including myself, obviously. Those are the names I have here. This could change over time. There might be something on screen. Yeah, I've already had to re-record this segment a few times. So, yeah. So, yeah, do not take YouTubers' silence as supporting of Slazo. We just want this situation to be handled respectfully, mainly for Shay. Because we know that by us speaking out, eventually it's going to lead to hate to her, which is horrible. She is a victim. So, yeah, do not send her hate at all. And in fact, don't send anyone in this video hate. Unfortunately, these are allegations, and I have to say that for legal reasons. And regarding MK, please don't attack them either. They don't deserve it. They got some good hardworking people there. It just sucks that that channel happens to be owned by Slazo. But yeah, don't hate anyone. Don't send any messages to anyone mentioned in this video. If you or anyone you know are being domestically abused or sexually abused, there are numbers on the screen right now that you can call for your local area. As well as that, if someone is in immediate danger, please call the police. It's important for us to remember that a victim of sexual or physical abuse is rarely ever just going to come out and say it. Usually in a domestic cases, the victim has been so manipulated to the point that they honestly love their abuser and constantly either make excuses for the abuser or simply think that they themselves are in the wrong. So with these abuse cases, there are actually a lot more victims than you could expect because they just never say anything about it. And because of this, I just wanted to say, Shay, you are incredibly strong for coming out, and you will always be supported by me and the rest of the community. We're really sorry that you had to go through this, but thank you for coming out. And thank you for speaking out. As I said before, we want this video to be monetized to raise money for charity. So we are going to be leaving a blank screen for the next few seconds to get past the 10-minute mark so I can put multiple ads on here to increase the profits that will go to charity. You know what, instead of having a blank screen, why don't we just have photos of Slazo dressed up as a clown, because this guy is a fucking clown.